I am Luciana Hartwin. Welcome to the Lilith Verse. If you find value here, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. Once there was a woman who would not kneel. She was made from the same soil as the first man, and so she thought, foolishly perhaps, that she should stand as his equal. But the garden had rules, and the one who made the rules did not take kindly to rebellion. So she left, and the garden closed behind her, as if she had never been. They say she wandered, that she wept, raged, and cursed the one who had shaped her, that she became something other than what she had been. But what if eternity is long enough to forget? What if the wind that scours the desert does not take just the footprints, but the thoughts, the memories, the shape of a soul? She walked for so long that she stopped counting the years. The desert stretched in every direction, a vast nothingness that whispered in voices she once recognized. The wind carried names she used to know, places that had no place anymore. She did not die, for she was made of something that did not break so easily. But she did not remain whole. At first, she whispered to herself to hold on to something solid, her own name, the way she had once laughed, the color of the sky before it turned unfamiliar. But the desert is cruel to those who try to keep hold of themselves. The wind snatched her words from her tongue. The sun blistered the past from her skin, and piece by piece, something was taken. She tried to hold herself together, but the desert had its own hunger. A thought lost to the wind, a memory buried beneath shifting sand, a name eroded until it was nothing more than a breath in the dark. She was still Lilith, but not all of her. And what is forgotten does not die, but becomes something else. What broke away from her did not vanish. It moved. It stirred. It learned to whisper on its own. The remnants of her shadow, the slivers of her will, the thoughts too wild to be tamed, they gathered in the night and stretched new wings. The Sumerians were the first to name them, Lilitu, daughters of the night, winged things that haunt the edges of firelight. They whispered in voices that echoed of her, though none of them remembered why. They were called owl demons, spirits of wind and hunger, with talons as sharp as memory. Their eyes were wide and gold, unblinking as the moon, and they did not walk as mortals did, but drifted between shadows, half there, half forgotten. They came in the dark, in the restless hours when a child stirred in its crib, when the breath of a sleeping man hitched with uneasy dreams. The people of Sumeria feared them, carved wards into their doorways, whispered prayers to keep them at bay. But they also knew that the Lilitu were not only demons. They were echoes of something older, something lost. Some said they were the wives of demons, that they lured men into the night and stole their seed to birth more of their kind. Others said that they were the storm itself, a force of wind and longing that could not be tamed. In the oldest stories, they were the handmaidens of great goddesses dwelling at the crossroads between divinity and nightmare. Perhaps in the end, this was the only way she could survive. Perhaps she became a legend because stories cannot be locked away, because myths slip through the cracks of time, reshaping themselves in the minds of those who tell them, because even the wind, after all, can learn to whisper her name. Lilith, the mother of exiles, the queen of the unbowed, the patron saint of those who refuse to kneel. And what of her now? Some say she walks still in the places the world has forgotten, that she lingers in deserts and wastelands, at the edges of great cities, where the lights never quite reach the darkest streets. that she watches, waiting, calling to those who have been cast out and left behind. Some say she is the wind itself, sighing through the trees in the dead of night, pressing against window panes like an unspoken question. Others say she moves through the bloodlines of the defiant, whispering in the dreams of those who refuse to be owned. It is just a story, of course, a theory, a whisper, an answer to an old and tangled question. Was Lilith the first woman, or was she always the thing lurking beyond the fire? Maybe the truth is this: she was both. If you enjoyed this, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. I am Luciana Hartwin. Thank you for joining me today here in the Lilithverse.